The internet, a place of vast wealth and knowledge that can range from the most well-known things, such as Snapchat, the Milk Crate Challenge, and of course, memes. But what about the other end of the internet, the more lesser-known creepy stuff, such as I Feel Fantastic, Cutting for Beaver, the Blue Whale Challenge, and of course, Soup.avi. Now, thing is with all these challenges or urban legends is that they were all hoaxes, and with that brings us into the discussion of this video, the Momo Challenge, the hoax that went from the internet to real life. In July of 2018, a very creepy image of what seemed to be a half-human female, half-bird, and half-horror movie creature was spreading around the internet, and this creature would go on to be known as Momo, and by what I can find, the origins of her name originate from Japan, being a very popular Japanese female name, as well as this. It's clear that the Momo creature originates from Japan due to its Japanese-like characteristics, but following July of 2018, this image, along with challenge-like threats, would be sent primarily via WhatsApp and YouTube videos that would advertise the dangerous quote-unquote challenge, and you might be asking yourself, what was the challenge, and how did it go? Well, to start, it would start off pretty simply and innocent, such as watch a scary horror movie or play Bloody Mary. However, these challenges would slowly ramp up to the more extreme, such as kill a house pet or cut yourself. However, when it came to the Momo challenge, much like the Blue Whale challenge, it would always end up in Momo wanting the participant to kill themselves, and this self-ending could happen in any way imaginable, such as cutting yourself to death, drowning, jumping out or off a building, hanging, any way you could imagine to self-end, Momo would encourage it. However, any United States reports of this happening were very small, if not false, according to the United States law enforcement, and could confirm that no one was directly or indirectly involved with self-harm and or death relating to this challenge. However, that did not apply for the rest of the world. In Buenos Aires, Argentina, in a late July day on the 25th, the first confirmed death resulting in the Momo challenge occurred, where a 12-year-old girl was found hanging outside of her family's backyard, lifeless. Following this discovery, police quickly got to work investigating what happened, and following this, it would be quickly revealed that the 12-year-old was in contact with an 18-year-old who was playing the part of Momo, where the teens had met on WhatsApp, and following this, that's where the challenge occurred, where the 12-year-old would go on to do all the steps as mentioned involving the Momo challenge up to the final part of the challenge, self-ending. And with this, reports would only grow from around the globe, with countries such as South America and India getting reports of children self-harming themselves in connection with the Momo challenge, often being prompted by WhatsApp messages to do so. Along with this, there are also further reports of teenagers being targeted by this dangerous trend, although this is still unconfirmed. But what we do know is the countless amount of times that young kids were targeted in the Momo challenge, likely due to the fact of how much easier it would be to convince and manipulate a child into doing something like this, rather than a teenager, let alone an adult. As well as this, around August of 2018, reports of the Momo challenge were also occurring on Facebook. It should also be noted that if the player of the Momo challenge were to deny or not do a challenge, the user would often be spammed with gory images and or videos, whether to scare the user or to make a point out of that's what's going to happen to them if they don't comply with their request, or to show the endgame of the Momo challenge is unclear. However, what we do know is in a lot of European and Asian countries, reports of the Momo challenge were only rising, with countries such as Germany, Luxembourg, and Spain all getting reports of deaths and or injuries according to the Momo challenge and or due to it. As well as this, reports of accounts of the Momo challenge being in games were also happening, such as young kids oriented games such as Minecraft and Fortnite. And with that, in North America, reports of the Momo challenge were confirmed to be happening, such as in Ohio, when an Ohio police officer was concerned when he found a game copy of Momo on his kid's copy of Minecraft. And this was only the first of multiple confirmed accounts from the USA, such as in Illinois, a group of parents were warning about the dangers of the Momo challenge when it was reported that a group of kids in the state were targeted due to the Momo challenge. There were also reports varying from state to state, such as in Houston, Texas, where a 5-year-old boy called the police to report Momo.
It's something no child wants to see.
I just closed my eyes and my eyes were thinking that Momo challenge was right there.
Momo, the online hoax causing a call to police.
And who made them? Who made them? A witch? A skeleton?
No, just someone that was mean.
The little boy you hear on the other end of that call, 5-year-old Giovanni Pedroza.
We talked to him about the challenge, Momo challenge, so if he sees her, for him to come talk to us.
Momo scaring Giovanni so much, he wanted to report her to police.
Because I don't want the Momo statue challenge to come here.
So he called 242 cops.
It's not real. And if anybody asks you to do anything like that, you always tell your mom and dad.
The dispatcher, Natalie Gurule, making sure he knew he's safe.
Are you going to find her?
Yes, we're going to find out who did it, okay? But that picture that you see, that's not real. It's just pretend.
So by this point, in September of 2018, when these Momo challenge reports were getting out of control, being reported worldwide from Canada to India, where in Tamil Nadu, India, the first reported confirmed adult death occurred, it's clear something had to be done about the Momo challenge, and the most prominent way of shutting down and or stopping the Momo challenge was by informing the public on the dangers of this challenge, with multiple law enforcement agencies warning about its dangerous intentions to parents, educators, and the public at large. As well as this, other countries would put out their own warnings about the Momo challenge and the dangers of it. However, reports of injury and death were still happening involving the Momo challenge, all the way up to October of 2018. And with this, the Pakistani Minister of Information and Technology would announce that the Pakistani government would illegalize the Momo challenge, as well as the Blue Whale challenge, effectively making both challenges a crime in Pakistan. As well as this, WhatsApp would begin to gain a lot of flack for their lack of response on the Momo challenge. It as well didn't help that WhatsApp was also the epicenter of the challenge, often being the reason why so many young kids were injured and or even killed due to the lack of response from WhatsApp dealing with these Momo accounts. So with this, WhatsApp would make a response on the crisis, telling anyone and everyone to not add as well as report any Momo-like accounts that they see, and if any of these accounts happens to add you, just block and report them. But the only problem was the main type of people that were being targeted in these messages were kids, who are very susceptible and ignorant to this type of manipulation, not to mention how I imagine not too many kids would be looking in news feeds saying, stay away from something that they wouldn't understand that could be dangerous. As well as this, as previously mentioned, YouTube itself was even getting reports of the Momo challenge on YouTube, primarily from quote-unquote kids-themed YouTube videos. Now, when this was revealed, YouTube quickly got to work taking down and terminating videos and accounts in connection with any potential Momo-themed YouTube content, and going so far to even demonetize any accounts that even mention the word Momo. So with this, since WhatsApp, YouTube, and Facebook were all working to fix this Momo challenge problem, along with the help of multiple political figures worldwide, the Momo challenge quickly faded into obscurity around October of 2018, and it remained that way for quite some time, with no new reports of this Momo character or challenge being seen on YouTube, WhatsApp, Facebook, and the internet overall. However, in February of 2019, this sinister character and challenge would take a dark comeback into the mainstream.
This ghoul is freaking everyone out. She's called Momo. She's got bug eyes, long stringy hair, a monstrous grimace, and spooky chicken legs. Imagine this freaky character suddenly popping up in cartoons on YouTube channels for kids.
Mama, Momo's gonna kill you.
It's horrifying.
Bianca Becerra says Momo left her 3-year-old daughter traumatized.
That thing telling her to throw herself in the garbage and to throw herself from a slide to hurt her head. That's just terrifying.
So what is it that sparked this re-rise of the Momo challenge? Well, there's a lot of factors involved. First, in the Philippines, on the day of January 11th of 2019, a young 11-year-old Philippine boy was found dead in an apparent suicide via drug overdose. When the Philippine authorities went to investigate the incident, they looked at the boy's phone and found an apparent link between his suicide and the Momo challenge, where the person playing Momo prompted the young boy to take any and every pill in his mother's drug cabinet, which the young boy did so. Now, the man involved with the boy's death was soon tracked down and arrested. However, soon after this happened, reports of suicides from Argentina, Canada, and Brazil occurred, where young kids had taken their own lives in connection with the challenge. As well as this, a man known as Rafi Tufo, who is a major Philippine politician and media personality, voiced his condolences to the family affected by the death of the young boy, with him also being one of the first people when the Momo challenge was at a rise again to tell parents to heavily monitor what your kids are doing online and check their internet devices constantly to make sure that another tragedy like this does not occur again. However, come February of 2019, it seems that parents from all around the world did not take this advice seriously, with rising reports from injury to even some cases of death involving the Momo challenge on the rise again. And if it couldn't get any worse, Momo was also linked in connection with something that was already a major problem on YouTube as a whole, Elsagate, with reports of Momo being respotted in kids-like YouTube videos such as Peppa Pig, Spider-Man, and Elsa videos, and even the most popular kids game at the time, even arguably up to 2023, Fortnite. However, YouTube would soon put out a response on the Momo challenge, saying that through extensive investigation, they could find no recent evidence finding Momo and the challenge as a whole on YouTube, but any potential videos that would be advertising Momo and the challenge as a whole would be deleted, and the user's channel would be terminated along with that. As well as this, anyone who even mentioned the word Momo would be demonetized. So I think it's safe to say YouTube was not messing around when it came to Momo and the potential potential ad and safety problems it might cause, which at the time, YouTube was already dealing with on a major scale. Around this time as well, just like the last time the Momo Challenge was at a rise, everyone started to call out the Momo Challenge, from law enforcement, again, to the media, again, as well as even United States politicians were getting freaked out by this character and the challenge surrounding it. As a matter of fact, the Momo Challenge around this point got so big that mother of three, and at the time, and now four, Kim Kardashian called out the dangerous challenge in a slew of tweets and messages and responses. However, there was just one problem with all this attention involving the Momo Challenge. It could potentially entice kids and online creeps into either trying to find Momo online, as well as creeps online playing the part of Momo to do God knows what with its unsuspecting victims. So it's clear that around this point, the internet was stuck in a loop. If they didn't report on the story, parents and educators wouldn't be aware of this sick challenge. But at the same time, if they did report on the Momo Challenge, it could potentially entice kids and creeps online into potentially seeking and or playing the part of Momo. However, that brings us into our next problem with the Momo Challenge, of how much of what we were hearing about the Momo Challenge was real. Following this quote-unquote challenge, you see, around this point, when the Momo Challenge was at its peak, a lot of news sites and YouTube channels called out the Momo Challenge for being an outright hoax, from the potentially false reports of self-harming and or death involving the Momo Challenge, with the primarily way that the Momo Challenge was being reported, how it was online. And when these news sites would pick up on these reports, they would often make stories on the challenge, in turn just creating online accounts of Momo being reported. And this would just create an overall feedback loop of false reports and spam stories, in turn leading law enforcement, educators, and parents wasting their time on keeping an eye out for this dangerous trend. So it's clear that in lots of respects, what we were hearing about Momo could not be trusted. As well as this, multiple YouTubers and analysis channels would even call out the Momo Challenge, saying how much bullshit it was. So it's clear that in lots of respects, what we were hearing about the Momo Challenge was false, involving the Momo Challenge, and with it, putting an overall death to this hoax. And come April of 2019, this story was all but gone from the mainstream. However, this still leaves us with some loose ends to this crazy story. Like, how did this story reemerge back into the mainstream? Well, as previously mentioned, there is still truth to the Momo Challenge, from the death involving the Philippine boy who died due to a drug overdose. That is true. And furthermore, a lot of reports from South America and undeveloped foreign countries from Asia and even some parts of Africa would often have rumors and conspiracies going on with the Momo Challenge, saying if you contact this WhatsApp number, that it would send you spams of gore videos, your IP address, as well as inclining the user to commit self-harm or even self-ending on themselves. And of course, when these creepy stories and accounts were heard in the United States, it was of course made into some creepy hoax that America does best at, blowing it out of proportion. Furthermore, lots of cybersecurity experts believe that the Momo Challenge could have also been a way of extorting data from kids who don't know any better, from clicking on phishing links, answering revealing questions about their place of country, and or what kind of personal information they could get from the young child. So I think it's clear that behind some of the people playing Momo, they could have been hackers just mining for personal information. And on the YouTube side of it, when the Momo Challenge was being reported on the YouTube Kids app, these reports also fell on side with a man who was seen in multiple YouTube Kids gaming videos where he was reported to be seen promoting the act of cutting yourself to a young audience. Now, if it wasn't obvious, this was former YouTube comedian star Joji, otherwise known as Filthy Frank. From 2013 up to 2018 was known for doing edgy things like this. And of course, Filthy Frank had nothing to do with uploading these videos on YouTube Kids app, with this video of him just being a green screen that someone edited into a gaming video, and it just so happened to be uploaded on the YouTube Kids app. So, along with the story being revealed, it went side and side to the whole Momo Challenge craze that was just going on, further lighting the fires of this controversy, mistaking it and blowing it out of proportion furthermore. However, around this point, a lot of people were wondering what that bird creature was involving the whole Momo Challenge, and it wouldn't take too much investigating to discover that this terrifying creature was created by Keith Kuraso, who was also reported to create the Momo creature dating around 2016, which also would have been around the same time frame that the Momo pictures were taken. And it was also revealed that the name of the Momo creature was called Mother Bird, and he was also known in Japan for creating creepy characters as some type of job or hobby, for that matter. So, when all of this was revealed to the mainstream, it took a lot of the creepy, unknown mystery factor out of Momo and the challenge as a whole, and soon following this overall scare from the Momo Challenge, it was quickly memed and capitalized upon the public and media overall. So much so, SNL, otherwise known as Saturday Night Live, made a skit about Momo, As well as this, there was just an overall unseriousness from the media and YouTubers alike, which just further led into the death and inevitable forgetment of the Momo Challenge overall. So with this, I think it's clear to say in lots of respects, the Momo Challenge defined what a hoax on the internet can truly amount to, and however far it may come also just depends on how far the media and internet can throw it. And with that, that concludes the hoax that went from the internet to real life. It's really something when you just consider the crazes that were going on around in 2018 up to 2019, and the Momo Challenge was just another one in the universe of the internet. So with that, I hope you all liked this video. Showing support of any kind really helps me grow and become a better creator overall. But with that, have a great day.